What's up, everybody? This is Jose Gagnon, the random guy, 75, here again today. And we are now on episode 14 of the season, Thomas the Train, season 4, Everything Wrong with Commentaries. So like I said, in this episode, we'll be seeing Rheneas, after all those episodes ago when we first saw him. He's finally, being brought back to the series. And we'll be continuing to see him because he'll be coming to a lot more episodes starting off next season in season 5. And we're going to get the things rolling. And this episode basically takes place right after last episode when Duncan decided to just hang around on the viaduct because he was being super selfish. So now, they're going to be, Skarloey's going to be telling him and Peter Sam about Rheneas, like a story about Rheneas. And, telling him, how Rheneas would do anything for the passengers pretty much, no matter what happened to himself or, what kind of weather and stuff like that. So get the greatness, have the happy times. You already know the things go here. Get the things rolling all the days and nights, and we'll get the things going right now. You already know how we do it here on this channel, everybody. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, man!
Duncan would not stop grumbling. He grumbled that he wasn't polished enough. He grumbled that he was overworked. Most of all, he grumbled about the passengers.
And he's still, aggravated and in a bad mood, just like from last episode too. But like I said, Skarloey's going to be telling him a story about Rheneas to see if that'll change Duncan's mind. And we'll see what goes on, with Duncan right after, Skarloey tells his story about Rheneas.
I'm ashamed of you, Duncan, said Skarloey. Thank goodness Rheneas is coming home soon. Perhaps he'll teach you some sense before it's too late. What has Rheneas to do with me? Rheneas saved our railway, replied Skarloey. Please tell us about it, said Peter Sam. Well, began Skarloey, it was before you came here. Things were bad. Rheneas and I had to keep the trains running, or our railway would have to close. How awful, murmured Peter Sam. I tried hard, continued Skarloey, but my old wheels ached. Rheneas understood. It's my turn now, he'd tell me. He was often short of steam, but he always struggled to a station and rested there. I mustn't stop between stations, he'd say. The passengers wouldn't like it.
So basically, just like how we, started off the season where they were, doing like the 4 episodes about Duke, and how Thomas was saying that, Duke is like a very big hero to all of them. Basically, it's the same thing here with Rheneas. So, Duke is a hero to all the bigger engines on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. And Rheneas is basically a hero to all the narrow gauge engines. Because that they both have the same kind of qualities, pretty much. So, they're going to be telling, Skarloey's going to be telling a story in a couple minutes here. Saying, how determined basically Rheneas is, like how much determination he has, and, how much, like the most heroic thing he's done to help out on the railway, because pretty much, the railway was having tough times. But, he kept pushing through. And, he showed his determination and, he did, just so much great stuff. And, he did the super hard work, while there was tough times going on in the railway, pretty much. It would have been pretty interesting if they made an episode where, where Rheneas got to meet Duke, because that would have been a pretty interesting and funny episode, just seeing, the two of them talking about, how they're both considered to be heroes and how, how much determination they both have, pretty much. But sadly, like I said before, Duke isn't in the show anymore. Like he made a couple cameos, and that's pretty much it. And they just chose not to use him in the show anymore for some crazy reason. But yeah, let's continue on, and like I said, in a couple minutes we'll be hearing the story that Skarloey is going to be telling telling about Rheneas and how much determination he has, pretty much.
Sure, huffed Duncan. He had stopped on a viaduct and hadn't cared at all. Passengers, continued Skarloey, get cross if you stop at the wrong places. Rheneas stopped in a wrong place once, and this is what happened. One wet and windy afternoon when the rails were damp, Rheneas was travelling home with a full train. There were even passengers in the guard's van.
And what's even more, amazing about Rheneas is that, he continued on while there was bad weather going on. Because, like Skarloey was saying, it was a rainy, windy day. But he kept on pushing forward because, he just has so much determination. Because he doesn't want, he doesn't want any bad stuff happening to the railway. Because like I said, this was going on where the railway was, going to be closing down. And, they were just having so many problems. So he's trying to show to the passengers that, he, cares about them and he respects them, and, that he has a lot of determination, pretty much.
It wasn't a comfortable ride at all. Rheneas's wheels kept slipping, and it was a steep climb. At last, his wheels gripped the rails again. The worst is over, he thought. Now we're away. But they weren't. Ah! I've got cramp, he groaned. And Rheneas stopped on the loneliest part of the line. His driver examined him carefully. Your valve gear has jammed. We need to reach the next station. Do you think you can still get us there? I'll try, replied Rheneas. Rheneas did his best. If I fail, he thought to himself, the passengers will be cross and the railway will close. Everything blurred. He was really too tired to make another turn of his wheels. But he did. And another, and another, and another. Finally, tired but triumphant, Rheneas reached the station. I'm here at last, he wheezed. Thank you for getting us home, said the passengers. We'll tell all our friends what a fine railway this is. His driver was delighted. You're a gallant little engine, he said to Rheneas. When you're rested, we'll mend you so you'll be ready for tomorrow.
And now he feels amazing because, he ended up making it to the station, and he didn't think he was going to because since, his valve gear got jammed. But he, like I said, it's all the determination that he has And that's how he ended up making it to the station. Because, he was just so determined to get there because he didn't want, the railway to close, and he didn't want the passengers to complain. So, that's how he ended up making it, because of all the determination he has. And he just, feels super amazing inside, especially because his driver is complimenting him on the great job that he did.
And, smiled Skarloey, Rheneas was always ready for tomorrow. Thank you for telling us about him, whispered Duncan. I was wrong. Passengers are important after all. The next day, Rheneas came home. All the engines were there to greet him. Edward pushed his truck to the siding where he was lifted onto his rails. This was the signal for a chorus of whistles from engines large and small. Everyone was happy, and Rheneas was the happiest of all. You know, he whispered to Skarloey, this helps a little engine to feel that at last he has really come home.
So that was episode 14 of season 4, Gallant Old Engine. And we're pretty much, now that we've reached this one, we're pretty much done seeing the narrow gauge engines for now. Except for Rusty, who we'll see, in the next episode. But now after this episode, we're basically gonna, like the rest of season 4 will be focused on, the bigger engines on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. So we'll be seeing, all the other characters, that we saw, in the very first 2 seasons that we talked about, so we'll be seeing, Thomas again, Gordon, James, Percy, all of them. We'll be seeing all of them again, because now they're pretty much all finished talking about the narrow gauge engines. But we'll be seeing the narrow gauge engines again in the next season, season 5, which will be narrated by Alec Baldwin. So get the greatness, have the happy times. Hope you're enjoying this season so far, and hope you'll be continuing to enjoy it as we, finish it up and everything. And we will see you all next Friday, where we'll be doing the next 2 episodes of season 4. Yeah, man. You already know that things go here. Woo! Yeah. Let's keep it rolling every single day. Every single night, everybody. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, mans! You know how these things are going here, everybody. Every single day and night.